one of the belting specialists here at CBT. And one of the questions that we always get asked is, how do I track a belt? So today I'd like to go over tracking a belt on a 2-pulley system, which is really the most common conveyor out there. The 2-pulley system is like this sketch here, where you have the head pulley where the motor and gearbox would be, and the tail pulley where the take-up is. Now on a longer conveyor, there might also be support rollers on the backside for the return. And we'll discuss those in a little bit. Your head pulley and your tail pulley generally will have a crown on it. And the reason for the crown is a belt wants to climb. So the pulley is taller in the middle and it forces the belt on each side to go to the middle, which helps center the belt onto the conveyor. Even with this crown though, there'll be slight adjustments that will need to be made to the take-ups in order to track the belt. So the first thing you'll do when putting on a new belt, you will most likely move in the tail pulley with the take-ups all the way in to give you your slack. Once you do that and start tightening the belt, you'll want to take a tape measure and find a location on the conveyor, normally at the top end of the take-up, that's the same on both sides of your conveyor, and measure that point down to the shaft at the tail on both. And to begin with, you want that measurement to be the same. So once you do that, you'll start the conveyor and watch it run. Now you'll want to run it for a minute or two to really let the belt run, and eventually you'll see the belt maybe travel to one side of the pulley to the other. And that's when we'll have to track it. So if the belt is running to this side and you want to push it back, what you will do is take this section of the pulley out, so you're kind of pushing the belt across. Again, do your nut or bolt a couple turns and see what the belt does. Don't push it out a lot and let it run, because it'll just shoot over to the other side. Let it adjust, and sometimes you'll move it in or out a few times. And for probably 75% of the conveyors, that's all you'll need to do. Now, if you have some difficulty where the belt won't track, what are some other stuff to look at? The first thing I would look at are to make sure that your bearings on your head and your tail, and any support rollers that have bearings are turning, make sure those are turning freely. If any of those are frozen or hard to turn, it'll affect the tracking of the belt. The other thing you'll want to check is to make sure your height along your conveyor is kind of level if you're going on a horizontal, or if you're going from the tail end, am I looking down the conveyor, you want it level across. So take a level, put it across at the head pulley, at the tail pulley, in a couple places in here, and make sure it's level. If the conveyor is lower in a section, again, it'll affect the belt tracking, and generally your legs will have adjustments on them, and you can adjust that conveyor square. What if it still doesn't? The other things to look at is to make sure your conveyor is square from your head to your tail pulley, and you'll do that with 2 measurements. You'll take the peak, the center of the pulley at the top, at the edge, and measure to the tip of the bottom here on both sides of the conveyor, and make sure that's even. And then you'll take your tape measure and go an X from head to tail. Again, those should be the same. If those measurements aren't the same, your conveyor's out of square. And generally that means the head pulley needs adjusted somewhat. Adjust it up to square, start the procedure over. We discussed earlier about these guide rollers. You want to make sure these are square also, because if they're not, that'll affect the belt tracking. You can also use these to track the belt. This sketch is one of these idlers, and think of this as a handlebar on a bike. If I want the belt to go this way, as the belt runs over this idler, if I want it to go that way, and this is a handlebar on a bike, I would want it to turn that way. So you either push this side up or push that side down a little bit, and you'll be surprised how much that'll affect the belt on the back side. Hopefully this video today will help you with tracking your belt. If you need additional assistance, we have service technicians and other belt specialists like myself that can come out and help you track the belt. Thank you.